To this seminar today, this digital learning seminar in the arranged by iEarth. My name is Iver Martens. I'm one of the PD leaders in the iEarth project. I will tell you today about one of the projects that we've been working with in iEarth. Since before the start of iEarth, we wanted to develop a baseline, and in order to develop a baseline, we needed to configure a way to ask for and put up the points for what we want to know about the common status in the geoscientific departments around in the iEarth consortium. So this presentation was developed by Ria and myself and was given in another version during the MNT conference last year. I have redeveloped this and we've done some more investigations. There's been written a thoroughly report about this, which I will refer to during the presentation. Andrea, you are of course allowed to interrupt me if I say something wrong during this. Also to notice is that this presentation will be recorded and will be available at the iEarth pages after the presentation. You can ask me questions along the way, but I would appreciate if you save them for after the presentation. We can do it in a chat box form after the presentation. So I call the presentation is named Exploring the Teaching Environment in a Higher Education Geoscience Program. Let's see. Yes, so what we want to analyze is the academic department. We want to see what's happening within the academic department. We want to analyze what are the critical units functioning together in the institutions. And we want to see how the culture, the teaching culture within the institution affects what happens at the departments. And we want to see how the institution affects its teachers and students regarding teaching and learning culture. What we see is that the departmental culture affects heavily the behavior of the staff and students teaching and learning at the institutions through the norms of the institution, the tacit, the known knowledge, and the notions about how research and teaching is performed at the department, which is seen to be an important factor governing how the teaching and learning is performed at the different departments. This was kind of the basis for what we wanted to investigate during this study. So these are the kind of four main topics that we'll be discussing today. The operationalization of the teaching culture during or through how teachers discuss their teaching, how they feel about themselves as a teacher, how much do they receive feedback on their teaching, and how appreciated do the colleagues feel about their teaching. These are the key questions that we'll be aiming on in this presentation. I will tell you about the baseline study that we performed, that it's way larger than this. We had a large theme, which I guess many of you have already answered. But these were kind of the main points that will be looked upon this presentation. So what is a baseline to start with? A baseline is a measure of the state of a process before we start doing something about the process. It's an as-is state. So in order to develop baseline survey for the geoscientific studies in Norway, we developed an online questionnaire for researchers, teachers, administrative and technical staffs, and students. So these were different questionnaires for the different groups. We had different aims with this baseline study. We wanted to investigate the future of geoscience, how teaching is performed, how much collaboration is there between students, teachers, industry, in what amount do we receive feedbacks on our teaching, our study, and so forth, and also how much contact is there with industry during the studies. The baseline that we developed includes 45 questions for teachers and more or less the same for students. So for iEarth, we developed a baseline which was designed to meet all critical points and measures for iEarth. It was supposed to measure the status in which iEarth consortium and actions can and will lead to improvement. So the quality check, the QC, equals the baseline of 2018 when we performed the first baseline, plus the improvements that we will make through the iEarth actions, gives us the status at the year when we perform a new baseline or a new check. And we could call this the iEarth effect. What effect will we have on the teaching and learning environment through the iEarth consortium and action that we all perform? Then the improvement can be measured as the change between the new performed quality check and the baseline that we performed before we started the iEarth project. Just a short timeline for what we've done in this project already. So before the iEarth officially started, we developed the baseline study and we performed the first baseline measurements at UiT. Baseline measurements has also been performed at University of Oslo, University in Bergen, and at UNIS. We have written a thoroughly report about the study quality and teaching culture at UiT, which can be found at the iEarth web pages. Here you can also find all the questions for all the groups are included in the appendix of this report. The plan is further on to use the same kind of baseline questionnaire when we come to the midway evaluation, to the finalization of the iEarth project. And it can be also aimed at different project domains in the iEarth project in order to see what are the effects that we have received and what's the status now compared to when we started. So it's a good tool in order to measure where are we. In 2019, when we wrote this report, we had rolled out the survey for the entire staff at the Geoscientific Institute in Tromsø. The answers that we got were from 24 of the researchers without teaching. We got answers from 20 teachers, 11 of the admin tech staff, and 63 students answered the survey. For the other institutions, we put them together to compare the results of UiT with the national standard. Here we have a database of 72 researchers, 96 teachers, 47 admin tech staff, and 174 students. The University of Oslo data is not included in this. So what were the highlights from the questionnaire due to the aims that we've put out for this presentation? We asked the teachers in what degree do they ask for advice or assistance when they plan their teaching. The answers that we got was that teachers often discuss their teaching with other teachers, and teachers to some degree and often ask the students when they plan their teaching. However, we could see that the UIT teachers talked less to their students about their teaching than the average for the iEarth. We asked what different user groups or groups did they ask for advice when they planned their teaching, and these were the ones that were most heavily answered. However, what we saw, what the teachers would ask teachers in their own discipline. So the sedimentologists would talk to other sedimentologists, and the geophysicists would talk to other geophysicists about their teaching, and not as a common group. What we could see in the free text answers was that there was a wish and a need for us where we could discuss teaching more broadly at the institutes instead of just within the specific groups. So these are just the results for the UIT in the above and for the iEarth teachers below, how often they discuss and ask people for assistance in their teaching planning. So we can see that the iEarth average lies a little bit higher than the UIT average. However, it's not significant. And this regarding what I said about asking teachers for help or assistance when planning their teaching, we can also here see that the iEarth standard lies a little bit higher than what we can see for UIT. So asking the students for help is seen as useful, and we also see that in the free text answers in the baseline survey. So what do they discuss with other teachers regarding their teaching? What we see is that for the iEarth common as a whole, the teachers often discuss their academic content of their lectures, the methods of instruction and assessments, how they practically organize their teaching, and they discuss their students. The UIT teachers, in addition to this, often discuss their own role and experiences as a teacher more than the average for the iEarth consortium. So this relies on this question here. How often do you and your colleagues discuss the following topics? The academic content, instruction, practical organization, and students. So just the percentage distribution. And we can also see how the UIT teachers and the iEarth teacher as a common score on how often they and their colleagues discuss the topics, their role as a teacher. And we can see that the UIT teachers will discuss this a little bit more than what we see for the iEarth consortium as a whole. Next point that we've investigated is the teacher's efficiency. How do the teachers feel about their role as a geoscientific teacher? We've asked them different questions in order to feel them a bit on the nerves regarding these themes. What we found out about the UIT teachers is that they generally feel able to teach their courses. Most of them like to teach. They feel capable of achieving their goals that they've set for themselves as a teachers. But some of the teachers, however, do not feel confident in the teaching situations. We also designed free text answers to get a bit deeper regarding this and what actions could be taken in order for all teachers to feel more confident in the situation of teaching. What we can see is that the teachers appreciate to have support from their colleagues when they develop their teaching. And about 40% of the teachers that we asked agree that their colleagues are open to new ideas in teaching. They feel that they have support if they wish to develop their courses further. And they feel to some degree that the colleagues understand what problems they are facing regarding teaching. So this relies on this question here. Please indicate to what extent you agree with the following statements. My colleagues are open for new ideas. My colleagues support me when I want to develop my teaching. My colleagues understand the problems I experience with regarding to teaching. And what we see in the UIT here. But we see this support bit as an important factor that can be aimed for within the iEarth consortium. Then to the point about feedback, how we receive feedback on our teaching, which we all can agree that's very important. We've asked during the questionnaire in what degree you receive feedback from different groups on your teaching. And we can see here from the iEarth on top and UIT in the bottom that few of the teachers receive feedback from the academic staff. The iEarth average here is low. Teachers receive very little feedback on teaching from others. But about half of the iEarth teachers receive feedback from the students. And UIT teachers receive even less feedback than the iEarth average, both from academic and from students. Which is an maybe not alarming, but it's an important point to take in notice that giving and receiving feedback is often a high motivation factor for teachers. This is just how the numbers spread with the UIT teachers in the top and iEarth teachers in the bottom. We can see that 40% of UIT teachers never receive feedbacks on their teaching from other academic staff. And 35% of the iEarth teachers never or very rarely receives feedback from other academics on their teaching. And this, the same now for students. 45% of the UIT teachers sometimes or often receives feedback on their teaching from students. And the iEarth a bit higher, with 44% receiving feedback from the students very often to often. The UIT teachers say that feedback from students is very helpful, and then informally oral feedback from the students is the most effective feedback that they receive. The feedback that they receive from colleagues, even though it's in a low degree experienced, or an educational expert, is seen as useful. So to sum up, 60% of the teachers often discuss teaching with other teachers. 50% of the teachers often ask students when planning teaching. The teachers that we've asked typically have a high efficiency. They feel certain about what they teach and how they teach it. About 40% of the teachers agree that their colleagues are open and supportive when developing courses. But the teachers receive very little feedback on their teaching from academic staff and students. After this survey was designed and the questionnaires were sent out and received back, RIA also performed interviews with all the geoscientific teachers at bachelor level at UIT. And she got deeper into these different themes that we've already discussed. And the points that she got into here that I've already mentioned briefly is that the teachers, when they discuss the teaching, they primarily discuss their teaching with the colleagues that they teach together with. So as said, the sedimentologists will discuss with other sedimentologists. And they then, in the same manner, they discuss the teaching with regards to courses in the same research group or subdiscipline as they are. And they also discuss alignment of courses in a subdiscipline and not in the whole teaching portfolio and not across the curriculum. So the UIT baseline as a sum indicates a supportive teaching environment among the teachers, especially within the subdisciplinary groups, which seem to be supportive. The teachers enjoy teaching and the interaction with the students. They are creating a more structured discussing around teaching involving the full curriculum could be ways forward to strengthen the alignment of courses. Designing for us where teachers can come together and discuss teaching. We've had that before at UIT, and the plan is to redevelop this and to have for us where we only discuss teaching. And I guess as we now have iEarth, this will be more common to discuss and get together as we have for the teachers retreat developed in iEarth. Yes, so we have written a report about this, which can be found via this link. I can distribute this link afterwards. So thank you.